Welcome back, everyone. This is the final recorded lecture for this week, week 2 of HEA 10002. This lecture is about the kinds of evidence we employ in the study of public health. Health science utilises the scientific method, meaning we place great emphasis on the systematic and principled way in which we obtain evidence relating to health and health issues. There are many stages involved in the process of obtaining evidence. It involves the collection of data, and previously we've spoken of 2 research strategies for doing so: survey design and experimental methods. It also involves the interpretation of data, of which there are standard means to do so, both for qualitative and quantitative studies. It involves both the doing of research and sometimes observations, so where a phenomenon is observed and recorded in the absence of an intervention. What do we mean by evidence? So on screen is another term for your glossary of terms. Evidence implies knowledge based on scientific principles and methods, in contrast to information obtained from personal experience, intuition, or anecdotal, traditional, or common sense resources. Evidence based on scientific ways of knowing represents a powerful tool for health practice. Returning to this first point on screen, this is really important. So when we're talking about evidence, when it comes to health science and health science evidence, we're talking about information that has been observed or obtained through the scientific method. And that's very distinct to, for instance, health messaging that we receive that has been untested or it's not been tested in the same rigorous manner. For example, I get really bad chilblains in winter, and my grandmother offers an array of solutions, none of which are based on the scientific method. There are certain questions that we ask in the study of health and health science. How do we know what determines health? What are the determinants of health? What are the risk factors for poor health? Who is at risk of poor health? Where and when is poor health occurring in certain populations? And epidemiology can answer these questions. Epidemiology is the study of health among populations. It provides the evidence that informs public health decisions and public health actions. Epidemiology enables us to describe and understand the impact of public health problems. There are 4 main types of epidemiology: clinical epidemiology, behavioral epidemiology, environmental epidemiology, and social epidemiology. On screen is a definition of what we mean by epidemiology. Epidemiology is the study of the occurrence and distribution of health-related events, states, and processes in specific populations, including the study of the determinants influencing such processes and the application of this knowledge to control relevant health problems. So just to reiterate here, it is the study of the occurrence and distribution of health-related events. And this is really important. So in that definition of epidemiology, an important aspect is that it does not refer to disease or illness, rather health-related events and health states, which is consistent with how we've been defining health so far in this unit. Epidemiology can include the study of both good and poor health. And epidemiology is concerned with population health rather than individual health. And it typically has a more preventative focus, as it's more likely to identify the underlying causes or determinants of health. This focus on population health, the health of groups of people, is again distinct from the biomedical model, which focuses on individual pathology, which is something we spoke about earlier in this week's content. Epidemiology has made significant contributions to our understanding of, for example, the determinants of infectious diseases, cancer, and HIV/AIDS. Epidemiology seeks to ask very specific questions about health issues, questions such as, what is the health problem? Who has it? Where are they, as in where are they located? When did they have it? And this is often a question around perhaps a period of life or an age range. Why did they have it? By knowing the answers to these questions, public health practitioners are able to target their prevention efforts to improve the health of populations. So a question to ask is, why collect population health data? Well, it has to do with interventions and prevention. To gain a more in-depth understanding of epidemiology and the role of research in understanding health, there are 2 TED Talks that will comprise the final videos to be watched this week. I'll place the links in our discussion board for these. Your final task for this week is to read 3 chapters from the linked online text. And again, I'll place that link in the discussion panel for the week 2 lecture content. Don't be intimidated. The chapters are very brief. Your task is to read and summarize the key points. This task can be completed independently. It's designed to ensure you are across the key features of epidemiology and the study of public health issues. That concludes the lecture content for week 2. See you in class.